Love! Today's video is about love. I got that intro from a priest, but this homily, he started his homily like that, and I'm just that priest, we're talking about like 7 years ago maybe, and my family still talks about that homily. Anyway, but it's about love. All you need is love, right? In a sense, that is very, very true in a sense, but I know, a lot of people know, that love is kind of like, what exactly does the word mean? The English language has we have a very bad vocabulary when it comes to love, because I love bacon, I love mac and cheese, I love my dog, I love my mom, I love my friends, I love God. Like, where does the, like, bacon and God, they're very different things. And so we just kind of don't know, as English speakers, we don't really know what the word love means. We just kind of use it here and there, and that leads to a very distorted understanding of the word love, of just understanding of the word love and understanding of love. The Greeks got so many things right. As my history professor said this morning, they kind of give us our identity because so much of our worldview is shaped by the Greeks. You wouldn't believe how much of our worldview is shaped by the Greeks, just as human culture, not just necessarily Christianity, because Greeks were not Christian, or like ancient Greeks were not Christian. Fact, they needed Christianity because they were very messed up. Also, something my history professor said this morning. But anyway, but they did get it. They got multiple things right, but one of the things they got right was having different words for the meaning of love. And so we're going to talk about four. Yes, there we go. I got my numbers right. I'm so bad with numbers. There's a reason I'm not majoring in math. But we're going to talk about 4 different meanings of the word love, and hopefully it'll clarify, kind of, you can not categorize, but you can kind of see where different where the different loves fit in your life. The 4 types of love. Okay, first one is called storge, and it is a familial love, affection, basically, like I said, family or pets event, even pets. It's just kind of like whatever's familiar. It's kind of just this natural flow of, you like what's familiar. This is me with my little brother, so family. And then I didn't have a picture with me and my cat on my computer, which is kind of surprising, but that's me with my, not mine, stuffed animal, Bob the beaver. But it's just kind of this thing that because you're around this person, you kind of just end up loving them. So anybody can feel it. It's a very human love, and it's the very basis of all other loves, because it's just, even, we're going to talk about two more human loves of philia and eros. And when we talk about those, you'll see you need storge, figure out how to pronounce it. I don't take Greek, I take Latin. You kind of see how you need this affection to have the foundation for everything else. I'm quoting a lot. I'm going to quote a lot from C.S. Lewis, and this he has a book called The Four Loves, which is about what I'm talking about. And one of the things he says, it's the people with whom you are thrown together in the family, the college, the mess, the ship, the religious house. Now, of course, we're human, and so any natural love is going to have pitfalls. And so some of the pitfalls are neediness. You feel, and like neediness and attachment, you feel really attached to these people, and you kind of need them. You kind of just receive. Sometimes you can receive from them, especially if the storge is towards your mom or dad, your parents. And then this one I found very interesting, but I definitely see it in a lot of places. Hatred towards or closed off from the unfamiliar. So if something is unfamiliar, you don't like it, and this can be human, or it can also be on a human level. Even I see in friend groups, like this is our friend group, and nobody else is allowed in, kind of like the cliques. Or then you just, food, unfamiliar foods. It's kind of not talking about that necessarily, but you kind of see it there. And then it can also, lack of civility and respect. Sometimes if you get too familiar with something, the respect just falls and you don't have respect for them. You definitely see this with parents. You definitely can be just, you're so familiar with it, you're like, oh, whatever kind of attitude. Okay, next one, philia, friendship. This one is, I love talking about philia. Uh, it's so, friendship, it's interesting. It's not passionate, but it's necessary. And to explain that, I have to quote from C.S. Lewis again. Where'd it go? Oh, so we're also gonna, I maybe should have done this in a different order. I don't know. But if you're thinking about like passionate love and romantic love, which is what we're gonna talk about next, it's not like that. It's kind of just like we're friends, and it might not be my heart is racing. I mean, sometimes it is. My heart is racing. But it's kind of just like it's there. Now, I like this one. It's the closest to heaven. Also, C.S. Lewis. Friendship has the most closest resemblance to heaven, where we'll be intertwined in our relationships. It's the most human, and it's the crown of life and the school of virtue. All of these are very interesting things I'm throwing out here. But anyway, and it develops from this companionship they have. So you can kind of see how it might develop from story, like college. I'm in college right now. You've got your friend, you've got your story, your friends, the people that you're just around all the time because you have to be, and you got nowhere else to go, and then it kind of develops into this thing. Now, this has three subsets that we're gonna kind of correlate to this. So friendship of utility. Now, we're not talking about using people. Sometimes people might use this, but that's not real friendship. Anyway, but utility, we're just talking about practical. It's like friends at work, your acquaintances, those kind of things. They're not going to last much longer than outside of the class that you're taking with them, outside of your workplace, whatever. But you're there. It's fun. It's cool. And then friendship of the pleasure. You have similar interests, like orchestra buddies. You're in an orchestra together and you both enjoy playing the trumpet. I don't know. Or you like fishing with somebody. Those kind of things. You just enjoy doing things with them. Okay, fun. But once again, it's not going to last. They're kind of just, we're here, but doesn't go much farther than what we're doing. Then the friendship of the good, or friendship of virtue. This is true, deep friendship. The friendship that's like you click with this person. I don't want to say your soulmate, but kind of similar to that concept. You connect with this person on a deep level, and you can go years without seeing them, but then all of a sudden you're back and you're together, and it's awesome. And if taken from a Christian context, you're seeking virtue together, you're running towards Christ together, and the desire for the reaching the good, reaching virtue, reaching God, is one of the core aspects of it, of your friendship. This is something that society nowadays is sorely lacking. If you can tell, people don't know what the word friend means. You can have a million friends on social media, but do you actually have these real, true friendships? And people don't understand that, and we don't know how to develop it. Yes, friendship takes time, and people don't want to invest time. And it also takes vulnerability, and people don't want to be vulnerable. And then some pitfalls of friendship. The utility and pleasure aren't like I said, they're not the full thing of the true good friendship. And then sometimes, also going off of utility and pleasure, the friendships of those, they're not always good. They could be imperfect or harmful. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying video games are imperfect or harmful, but they're definitely not always beneficial. Just throwing it out there. Okay, arrows. These are my parents. Pictures of my parents. All these pictures are from my life, by the way. Romance. Passionate. It's totally passionate. You're in love, and it's just this is what all the songs are written about. All of the crazy love songs are written about. It's passionate and it feels good, but it's passionate, it's pleasurable, and it changes. So it's passionate, so you're just full in and you love this person so much, and it feels really good, but it changes and it doesn't necessarily stay. And so it can kind of be a roller coaster of emotions. And the problem is, sometimes if the feeling of eros goes away, you feel like your love has stopped, which is why it needs to be founded on the other two, storge, and philia, and then especially what we're going to talk about next with agape. And you have this preoccupation with the beloved, like lovers just love each other and they don't want to be with anybody else. And it's other oriented, which is a good aspect because you're totally willing to give everything to your beloved. And also, just side note, this is not just the sexual aspect of it. There is, yes, you're talking about eros with the sexual aspect of the marital act. But it's just, you can also have eros on a very, not outside of that. It usually leads to the sexual aspect of it. Anyway, and then this one needs explaining. It distorts reality and is irrational. Well, a lot of times when people are in love with this person, they only see their good side, which it can be good, but they don't see the flaws in a person. If you're dating a bad guy, you on your head over heels for this guy, and you don't necessarily see that he's not good for you, that kind of thing. So, anyway, and pitfalls. Like I said, the feeling passes, but you need to give forever. Especially in marriage, if people think eros leaves, the love is gone, then marriage is over. Sometimes you tend to idolize the other person. This person is my all and my everything. When okay, you need to be careful there because other people exist and God exists. And rejecting responsibility, sometimes you kind of just get, like I said, preoccupied so much that you don't want to do anything else besides be with this person, and that's a problem. Okay, last one. Agape. This is, okay, so the first three were natural, and this one is supernatural. It's sacrificing yourself, and it's total, all-encompassing love that never runs out. So it's love from God, because you need grace to really fully self-sacrifice, and it's also love of God. And it comes from within yourself and is independent from those around you. What I mean by that is sometimes you feel like you need love. You're dependent on the love of your mom or love of your friend to also love back. But agape will love regardless of whether the other person is lovable. Which is like, okay, and then so down here, not needy, like storge, I should have also added. It doesn't depend, like storge, often the other thing that you're loving has to be lovable in order for you to have storge for it. But agape does not have that. So, and then we're gonna talk about this, but elevates natural loves to the ultimate. So it's not needy and it doesn't demand, it gives, unlike storge. And then, like the other two, it's the love of the good, and it has joy with others, like philia, and then it's consuming and self-giving, like eros. But agape has this firm foundation, gives the firm foundation for the other loves, and it also sometimes needs to sacrifice the other loves, because, like, you want the love of friendship, but ultimately you need to have the love of God. These are not me, clearly, that's Jesus, duh. That's at the Mother House of St. Cecilia Dominicans in Nashville, Tennessee. And this is St. Agnes, her Rome, in her church in Rome. That's a statue of her martyrdom, so that's why I put those there. I'm going to do another video on the meaning. Like we talked about, these are the basics. I just gave you the basics. And the next video is going to be about all the implications of the different, like, all the implications of the different meanings and how our culture needs to know them more. That'll be next week's video. Just so, part 2 will be coming next week. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Get holy and have fun doing it.